Hello, everybody. Welcome to PlayStation Access and this very special Summer Game Fest after-party reaction stream. My name is Rob. If this is your first time visiting PlayStation Access, a very warm welcome to you. If you are a regular returning viewer, hello to you as well. What an amazing show that was. There is a lot to get through, a lot to react to. First of all, I want to start with a very exciting announcement. We have learned the release date for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. It's coming to PS5 on the 20th of October, and we also got to see the box art. A very exciting reveal. There's a game that happened right at the end, which I'm just quivering with excitement about. But even more excitingly than that, I, as you may have noticed, am here in the Access studio on the sofa on my own. But that is because we have Rosie and Ash actually in LA live at Summer Games Fest. Hello, Rosie and Ash. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Hi, everyone. Yes, we can see. Well, we can hear you. We can see that you're frozen. Yeah, but we can hear you.
Well, let's hope that I've not frozen on the stream. But as long as you can hear me, that's fine. It looks incredibly sunny and wonderful and lovely where you are. What was it like?
My God.
Being at the actual live event? That must have been super exciting.
I've never whooped that much in my life, honestly.
She's like,
yeah, Rosie's hands going like when the
man who erased his name, Like a Dragon.
Yeah, the Like a Dragon.
When it popped up, my excitement I had to hit something out of excitement, and it was Ash's leg.
And it was me. I literally I tried to yell for Nicolas Cage, which went
when Sam Lake came on, like it's Sam Lake.
Honestly, being in the same room as Nicolas Cage, really I don't know what I'm really emotional about it.
I was
air with Nicolas Cage.
I was genuinely so happy for you, Ash. But I was trying to work out as the presentation went on, who is this a better show for? Because we got Nicolas Cage, we got Sam Lake, but then we got Sonic Superstars and what's it even called, Rosie? That Like a Dragon Gaiden. I'm really hoping you know what on earth that was on about, because I'm not following it, but I imagine it's something that is very, very exciting.
Yeah, so Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, is basically a little snippet of Kiryu's story after Yakuza 6. So but it looks insane. Did you see Kiryu in his suit and then the combat and then I'm just so happy about it, and the art for it looks sick, and it was so weird seeing it live. I can now say I've witnessed something from the Yakuza now Like a Dragon series live at a showcase, and again that's just so special to me that I can be like, wow. Like something I never thought would be possible in my life, and it's happened.
Yeah, honestly, like the vibe of the room and being in there with a bunch of people who were like really excited gamers, and like hearing people yell and whoop and scream, and like hearing us yell and whoop and scream.
We yelled and whooped.
It was honestly, it was so good. It was such a good show. Jeff Keighley looked very smart. He looked very good.
He
had all his friends out. It was so good. All his friends. Sam Lake and Nicolas Cage. Like, come on, what a party they must be having.
I mean, I'm very jealous, but also I think even more than jealousy, I'm very happy for both of you, because there was so much there that I know would have been so exciting for you both. I wanted to, as soon as Nick Cage came out, I turned to everyone in the same room and was like, Ash is going to be losing her mind right now. I mean,
there were so many moments where I turned to look at Ash and, like, you know, she leaned forward, the hands came up.
I would clasp, like, thinking hands. We recorded some reaction videos whilst we were in there. Just the camera on us whilst we were doing. So maybe you'll see those if it was a bit dark. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they'll be able to be short so you guys can see the reactions. But Rosie with Sonic as well was something else. That was just...
was teased in it. My boy from Sonic Fighting.
It reminds me of the dog from that thing. I can't remember. But I'm glad that he's in it. Honestly, we're just gassed. It's really nice. It's really sunny. It's great. So.
But even more excitingly than having seen that show live, you're at Summer Games Fest and you're about to go and see and play some of those games that were shown. Like,
we will be, which is insane.
You're going to be playing Mortal Kombat 1. That looked amazing as well.
Ooh. Yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 looked brilliant. The whole audience was cheering and whooping whenever a fatality happened. Like the vibe was just everyone was loving those fatalities happening.
Honestly, I was slurping it up. There was blood, there was guts. I'm a little straw out. Like it was so good to open with that, and then to finish with that
Final Fantasy,
game.
oh my god, Rob! I want to talk to you about Final Fantasy so bad.
I'm going to do a lot of talking about Final Fantasy. I couldn't believe it. I was not expecting it. And when Jeff did his little funny joke where he was like, speaking of Final Fantasy, and then just dropped like an advert for something else, I was like, Jeff. But he knew he had that little treat up his sleeve at the end for everybody. But before we talk about Final Fantasy, Ash, I just want to get your thoughts on, Alan Wake 2. Obviously, Sam Lake came on stage, another one of your heroes. And then
looking very dapper.
Yes.
The gameplay looks amazing, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. Honestly, it looks amazing. Like seeing Sam Lake, handsome man, dressed well, doing a lovely little talk when he did his little face, being like, "I'm Saga's partner." I was like, "Oh, thank you funny man." That was great. And then seeing the gameplay, it looks incredible. I liked that we got to kind of see the bit behind the trailer where we've got the Antler Man busting out the wall, like seeing kind of what that was and hearing him talk about that being kind of this darkness that's bringing people back to life that are dead and stuff. It looks really, really good. It looks like it's captured that core of Alan Wake, shooting, using light to kind of burn things. There was the big pool of light from the lamppost that, obviously is a bit of a safe space. There was loads of stuff in there that I think just looked amazing and so good. I saw an Alan Wake dev whilst we were here, and I only know they were Alan Wake dev because they were wearing this really cool shirt, and I was looking at it like, that's a really cool shirt, and then realised it said Alan Wake dev team, and I literally ran over and was like, oh my god, I'm so excited for you. Yeah, I was so excited, and she gave me some stickers that I put on my bag.
Oh, there they are. Oh, that is very cool. Oh.
So I'm very excited about that.
Was there, I know Final Fantasy is the obvious one, but was there anything else from that show that sort of caught your eye? I thought personally Lies of P looked absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
you were gassed for that.
Yeah, Lies of P just looks beautiful and phenomenal, and I can't wait to delve into that world. It just looked so good, and I think the whole audience were excited for Lies of P as well. That was another one that got a lot of cheers.
For sure. And I like that you had like the little Jiminy Cricket like suggestion with his little glow bug pocket, and he's being like, great landing, but let's do it better. I was like, but I think I'm really excited for that. I can't remember the name of it. Hopefully you have it written down, Rob. It's the two ghost hunters. Hunters.
I have written down the name of every game that was there, and I can't remember exactly what that one is that you're referring to.
Oh well, okay. It's like there was so much good stuff, but it's like a guy and his partner who's like a spirit, and the two kind of come together to fight off big skeletal beasts. And they're like lives for the living and death for the dead. It really reminded me of the Brothers Grimm movie and that kind of vibe of being kind of dark.
I know what you mean. I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Was it?
So it had like good horror vibe.
Banishers.
That's
Ghosts
it.
of New Eden. Was that the one?
Yeah, Banishers. Yes. That was it. I'm really excited for something like a new original bite to chew into. Also, John Carpenter getting a game.
Hey, you fully gasped.
I know.
John Carpenter.
I thought it was going to come out, so literally, I would have made a mess. I would have thrown everything everywhere.
So John Carpenter's Toxic Commando.
Yeah,
and they even had like
really good.
They even had like Bon Jovi playing during that trailer.
Yeah,
that was some trailer. There was a new Lord of the Rings game just came out of nowhere as well, which is very exciting. What was the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, Ash? Oh, sorry, Rosie, Crash Team Rumble. We saw a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, we saw Engine and Ripperoo now, which I'm very happy about because you got to have Engine there. He's Cortex's right-hand man, and
your boyfriend.
And no, that's the embryo.
Oh, sorry.
He's already in the game.
Excuse me.
And Ash, please.
Sorry.
And also Ripperoo, who was another classic Crash Bandicoot sort of villain, and I'm looking forward to seeing what chaotic energy Ripperoo brings to the battlefield of Crash Team Rumble. So yeah, when I saw them two pop up, I was like, Bandicoot characters.
Oh, it's just everything there was just so exciting. There was just, oh man, I'm struggling to think of anything other than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth now, though, Rosie, because none of us were expecting to see that. What was your immediate reaction?
Honestly,
Oh my god!
I can now see, Rob, when we all talk on Access about your reaction to the first Final Fantasy VII remake moment when you were at E3, I believe it was. I can now say as well, like, you know, just seeing Rebirth, it's seeing it live at the venue. I was just like, oh my god, I'm like Rob now. I've seen something Final Fantasy related live. And like with the screens and the sound and things, it was just so engulfing, and the whole audience fully like just gasped. Everyone was silent, and then
I'm sorry that slash at the end. I was like, what the hell was that? What the hell's just happened? Like, what does this mean? Like, honestly, I was like, excuse me.
And not only that, but this trailer dropped so many things about the story and things like that. It's like, Seth Roth saying I killed her and stuff like that.
What's going on? I love, I love so much how 7 Remake and now 7 Rebirth, it's a reimagining of the game we love, and it looks incredible. But there's little narrative twists in terms of like we don't know exactly what's going to go on, but clearly they're still doing the thing they did in Remake where they're reimagining everything. Did you see them running through Cosmo Canyon, Rosie? My God, it looks so good. I can believe
Red's
it.
combat as well.
Yes,
Keen's combat. You look brilliant. And Yuffie coming in.
A lovely cat.
Red's a dog. A lovely cat. Red is, oh my gosh, freaking. But as well, we saw Yuffie fighting alongside Red 13, which confirms that Yuffie is going to be joining the party. I know it was sort of hinted at the end of the DLC, but she's going to be reunited with them. We saw Red's combat.
We saw Bugenhagen. We saw Bugenhagen on his little galaxy map in Cosmo Canyon. Oh, I almost did a little cry. Cry.
Well,
but I'm so happy that you've both got to. Well, you've experienced video game history. You've been at the very first ever in-person Summer Game Fest show, and you've seen some reveals for some amazing games, and you've seen Nicolas Cage on the stage, and you've seen Sam Lake on the stage, and you've seen...
I could do a little cry.
You've seen Handsome Paxton from Never Have I Ever on the stage as well, who I love, and I know that doesn't mean as much to you, but when he came out, I was like, oh, it's Handsome Paxton from Immortals of Avian.
He was very good.
To be fair, I was thinking of you, Rob, when he popped up. I was like, oh, he's Rob's man.
I love Handsome Paxton. I wish I could remember his actual... I think his real his name's Darren. Darren. Handsome Darren. But it was so exciting. But I know you've got a lot to get on with being there live in LA. You've got... appointments to see a bunch of games, to get hands-on with a bunch of games, and please do stick with us on the channel over the next week or so, because when Ash and Rosie are back from LA, we're going to have lots of very exciting videos from what they've seen. I wanted to talk to you very quickly about Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, the very first thing we saw. That looks amazing as well.
Right? Looks so fantastic and brilliant.
It's so good, and I think this is the point we can tease. We can tease
that we recently went to France,
Montpellier, and we can tease that we've been, and that we'll have some more coverage of that coming up very soon as well. So
you've been jet setting, and game playing, and Nicolas Cage air sharing. What a couple of weeks it's been for Team Bikini. Wow.
Team Bikini.
I can't believe he was there. He's the honorary member. He can be like the sarong.
He knew.
We just put him in a bikini.
Well, what I loved about him was that he really seemed to know his stuff as well. It wasn't let's just trot on a celebrity onto stage. He knew what he was talking about, and he seemed really passionate about it as well. I thought it was amazing.
Nick Cage is amazing, but like he's a horror fan. Like he loves making horror movies. Like you think of stuff like Mom and Dad and Mandy and all of that stuff. Like that when he played a vampire back in the day, The Color Out of Space. Like he loves horror. He loves doing horror. And like Dead by Daylight is another big like campy collection of all the best horror bits out there.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. It makes so much sense for him to be in there and to be this larger than life character. Because
his own original character as well.
I like, oh my god, I'm thinking of Willy's Wonderland. I'm just naming films that Nicolas Cage has been in. But like, it really makes sense, and I think it's really nice that he's gone like feet first with it, because it lives up to who he is with all the horror community stuff. So I'm really gassed that he's involved and that he was here in his beautiful suit and was making a little joke about hooks.
There were so many beautiful suits on display on that stage. But Ash and Rosie, I know you're very busy and you've got lots to do and lots to see. It's been lovely seeing you with your sunglasses in beautiful sunny LA. I will let you go.
Sorry, is that all this? Yeah,
the squints. I will let you go now, but thank you very much for joining this very special edition of the PlayStation Access After Party. I can't wait for you to come back and tell me all about the amazing games you've played. But go forth, have fun, have an amazing Game Fest, and we will see you very soon.
Thanks for having us.
Bye, Ash and Rosie. Bye, Ash and Rosie. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous of the fact that they've been so close to, well, Hanson Paxton and Nicolas Cage and Sam Lake, but also I am myself struggling to really come to terms with the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer that we saw right at the end there. Like, when Final Fantasy VII Remake was first revealed, and in the run-up to the release for that game, like, you know, there are certain games that come along, I think everyone has their own personal game that does this for them, that just make you feel like a child again, and give you that sort of childlike excitement that you just cannot replicate. And, you know, every time a game like that comes and goes, I think, is that the last time I'm ever going to feel that excited for something? But my God, when they started showing like the openness of it, like how beautiful it is walking around the world of Final Fantasy VII and seeing Aerith there, seeing Tifa there, seeing Cloud and Barret and Red 13 and Yuffie, and reveals of characters like Bugenhagen, like really classic Final Fantasy VII characters, and seeing locations. That's the most exciting thing for me, is just seeing those locations that are so ingrained into like the memory of every Final Fantasy fan, seeing them reimagined so beautifully, and that combat as well. And they had the song, the music they were playing was it was one of my favorite tracks from Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's the boss fight when you fight the Valkyrie, I think, in chapter 15, which was a completely original piece of music for Final Fantasy VII Remake. It wasn't one of the rearranged pieces from the original game. It was one of my favorite pieces, and they used that in the trailer for Rebirth, which I just absolutely loved. I thought it was amazing, and we saw so much mysterious stuff as well, like Sephiroth's cryptic line at the end when they do the flashback scene in the Nibelheim Maker reactor, and he slashes Tifa, which is in the original game, but having Sephiroth say, "I killed her, who is that?" Like, what's going on? Is it like a trailer red herring? Is he actually talking about Tifa there? Is he talking about someone else? I don't know. All I know is that I am so ridiculously excited about it. I don't think anyone, well, there were rumors online that maybe Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to be shown at Summer Game Fest. I don't think anyone expected it would be revealed to the extent that it was. There have been all of those sort of like cryptic tweets coming out from the official Final Fantasy VII Rebirth account. Little questions, little answers. The 7th one was today, and it was like, when are we going to hear more about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? And the answer was just soon. And it turns out it was today, now. I'm going to have a little dip into the comments. Emno120 says, Rob is going super fan mode again. Yes, I'm sorry, I am going super fan mode, because that was amazing. That was amazing. Lucy Soby, good to see you in the chat, says, I love watching you be excited, Rob. I love being excited. I love it when a game comes like that. Oh, man. I mean, Final Fantasy 16 is coming in like literally 2 weeks. What a time to be a Final Fantasy fan. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. And we don't have a release date, but we have sort of like, we're honing in on a release window. Early 2024 is what was revealed during that presentation. But there were lots of other games in that show, which I will deign to go through now. Some of them we talked about, or a lot of them we talked about with Rosie and Ash. But just to quickly go over them again, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crowns looks like a really beautiful sort of back to the series roots. We've got like a side-scrolling Metroidvania style. So, you know, before Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, not the original Prince of Persia games, it really looks like it's, you know, evoking that kind of game, which is, you know, it's been too long, I think, since we last saw the Prince of Persia. So having that series back is massively exciting. Mortal Kombat 1 looked crunchy. I've always been a big fan of how hard the Mortal Kombat combat goes, and to have Ed Boon come on the stage and talk about, you know, this, you know, it feels like a seismic event for Mortal Kombat, especially for Mortal Kombat fans. If you've got any Mortal Kombat fans in the comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, because, you know, the events of Mortal Kombat 11 narratively, we're now starting like a whole new timeline almost with characters whose relationships with each other are maybe not the sort of relationships that we know and are used to. So narratively, it feels like quite a massive thing for Mortal Kombat. So I'm going to keep an eye on the chat. Shed of Chaos says MK1 hype. Victor 7 says Final Fantasy 7 looked absolutely amazing. It did. Lucy Soby says crunchy is the perfect word. Yes, absolutely. Lots of crunching, lots of bones. PlayStation Access, that'll be Alex, our community coordinator, says Lies of P. Sing it with me. Lies of P. Lies of P. I'm not going to sing it. I'm just going to chant it. Lies of P. Lies of P. Lots of people saying Lies of P. It did look absolutely beautiful. As soon as they transitioned to the gameplay for Lies of P, and you saw just the floor, like the fidelity of just the floor texture looked incredible. But the thing about Lies of P that was really impressive, I thought it didn't look like anything that I've seen before. I mean, there are sort of like echoes of Bloodborne in there. There are echoes of BioShock in there. But in terms of the whole look and the vibe of it, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. Like this really dark reimagining of the Pinocchio story. Combat that looks really, really cool. Just one of the most intriguing games I think that's coming to PlayStation. Honestly, I can't wait. We saw an unexpected crossover between Street Fighter VI and Exoprimal, the upcoming Capcom shooting lots of dinosaurs game, which ended up with Ryu from Street Fighter fighting a T-Rex, which is not the kind of thing I was expecting to see, but there you go. It looks really, really cool. My award for best water graphics seen at the Summer Game Fest goes to Path of Exile 2, the trailer for which we've got like an isometric, top-down, Baldur's Gate, Diablo-style action role-playing game. Path of Exile 2 looks awesome. Right at the beginning, have a look at that gameplay trailer again, and have a look at the water right at the beginning of that gameplay trailer. That was some high chef's kiss. The waves going up the beach, absolutely beautiful. Of course, we saw, as Rosie and Ash were talking about quite a lot there, we saw Alan Wake 2, like a really good reveal of some of the new gameplay from Alan Wake 2 and the new playable character Saga, who you are going to get to play as. We had Sam Lake, the creator of Alan Wake 2, sort of going into a little bit more detail about how the gameplay is going to work and how you can switch between playing as Saga and playing as Alan, but also, more importantly, I think, how Alan Wake 2 is going to be accessible to anyone who didn't perhaps play the first Alan Wake game. So good to know that you can jump in there and get straight into Alan Wake 2 if you want. I'm going to have another look at the comments. Came Highwind says, Rob loves water effects. I do really love water effects. Ryan Hogan says, love some good water graphics. Everything Gaming says, Rob, any thought about Alan Wake 2? A little bit behind, I guess. A little lag on the stream. I do think Alan Wake 2 looks very, very impressive indeed. I mentioned it briefly to Rosie, and another one that came completely out of the blue was Lord of the Rings Return to Moria, a new Lord of the Rings game starring, if it wasn't John Rhys-Davies, it was someone who sounded a lot like John Rhys-Davies. Anything Lord of the Rings gets me very excited, so that's absolutely one to look out for. Under the Waves looks really cool, really sort of creepy, moody underwater adventure coming on August the 29th. Really intrigued me, that one. Season 4 of Modern Warfare 2 Warzone coming next week on June the 14th, I believe. We got to see a bunch of new gameplay for that, and keep your eyes peeled on the channel because we will have some very exciting Warzone Season 4 content for you on the way. We got to see Handsome Paxton, and I'm going to look up his actual name because I can't keep calling him Handsome Paxton. We saw him. He came on the stage. I'm going to look up his name now, and we got to see some extended gameplay from Immortals of Avium, which is like being billed as like a magic shooter. What's his name? Tell me his name. Darren Barnett. His name is Darren Barnett. I'm going to call him Handsome Darren Barnett from now on. Handsome Darren Barnett plays the lead character in Immortals of Avium. We've got a really cool extended look at some of the gameplay for that. Looks really intriguing. Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 3. Now, I must admit, Fortnite is one of those games that is undoubtedly like an absolute cultural phenomenon. And is just like... What was going on? They were riding on the back of velociraptors, and then Optimus Prime turns up. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. I'm sort of tempted to dive back in just to see what the heck is going on, because that looks very cool. And then, you know, we finished on, again, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I can't stop thinking about, and I'm going to be thinking about it the whole way home. And when I get home tonight, I'm just going to lie in bed and play that trailer over and over and over and over and try and sort of like, you know, the first time you watch the trailer for these things, you're just like, like a deer in the headlights, just blown away by it all. But I'm really intrigued to go through that trailer with a fine-tooth comb and pick out all of the little clues that are undoubtedly going to be hidden in there. I think we saw the scene in the village of Calm where Cloud tells the story of Sephiroth to Tifa and Barrett and Aerith and Red 13. So we saw a snippet of that. I'm pretty sure we saw them running through Cosmo Canyon, the interior of Cosmo Canyon. We saw Bugenhagen with his like special materia galaxy map thing that he has. We saw beautiful glimpses of the open world. Some of the combat just looks just outstanding. I can't wait. I cannot wait. And yeah, I thought, just wow, what a massively exciting show it was. So much to look forward to. As we mentioned, Rosie and Ash are out there in LA at Summer Games Fest getting hands on with a bunch of games. So please keep your eyes peeled on the channel over the next week or so. We're going to have coverage from loads of exciting stuff. And yeah, I'm going to go home now. I'm going to go home and watch that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer probably 30 times before I go to sleep tonight. And I'm probably going to come in tomorrow and want to make a bunch of videos on it. So apologies in advance if the channel just turns into a Final Fantasy fan account for the foreseeable future. Because with that and Final Fantasy 16 just around the corner, whew, what a time to be me. What a time to be a Final Fantasy fan. I'm just going to have one last look at the comments before we go. Sandland. Lots of people talking about Sandland. Reddy Ruxpin says, underwhelming. There's no pleasing some people, is there? How could you see that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer and say underwhelming? Shed of Chaos just says, do it. I assume, referring to my plans of turning PlayStation Access into Final Fantasy Land for the next couple of weeks. Misuki86 says, thanks for the after party, Rob. No, thank you for coming to the after party. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for turning up and for staying up late. I hope you enjoyed the Summer Games Fest show that Jeff put on. And as I say, please do stay tuned to the channel because we're going to have lots of exciting stuff coming up over the next week or so. Videos on loads of the games. Ash and Rosie, I'm very jealous of them. They're out there right now in LA, seeing extended behind the scenes demos, getting hands on, speaking to developers. You know, it's all that good stuff. All that good stuff is happening, and I just can't wait. So I'll do one last goodbye to the chat. Goodbye, chat. Thank you so much for joining us. Another goodbye to Ash and Rosie, who've already left, but goodbye to them again. Thank you, Ash and Rosie, for joining us earlier on. It was cool to have, like, live LA correspondence for the first time on a PlayStation Access after party. And it's also goodbye from me. I'm going to go and do what I promised and watch that trailer a bunch more times. Good night, everybody. We'll see you again very soon. Take care.